Whoa!
We're live. Hi.
We are live. What's up, guys? How we
Not
doing?
much. What's going on, Tom?
Not much, folks. Welcome to the show. My name is Tom Scavetta, joined alongside George Bristol and Nick Godin. Happy Wednesday evening. Appreciate you all joining us. How are you guys feeling this evening? I know snow this weekend, a lot of cleanup, removal. You guys upstate. Hopefully you guys are doing okay.
We're doing great.
Not too bad.
We got next to nothing. 10 inches at my house. Not a big deal. It was light. Just a normal day up north.
Try 2 feet down here in the city.
Yeah, you guys got hammered, and within that, I heard you lost a chair, Tom. Is that true?
I did lose a chair, and it came crashing down, and it broke into pieces on Friday night. It was Saturday night, excuse me. It was brutal. But, folks, before we get started, obviously, you all know we have a very special show tonight. Shameless plug, make sure to go follow us on Instagram and YouTube at the 1925, the New York Giants podcast. You can subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Facebook at Review and Preview Sports, and the audio version scrolling across our ticker. Appreciate you all tuning in. Any comments in the course of the live show, please feel free to drop them. And George, I will turn to you here.
Ready?
I am ready. You guys ready?
All right. The time is now. 1925 proudly presents one of the all-time greats in the New York Giants history. 2-time Super Bowl champion, All-Pro, Giants Ring of Honor inductee, one of the baddest motherfuckers to grace the turf at the Meadowlands, the cornerstone of the Big Blue Wrecking Crew, the one, the only, Leonard Marshall.
Good evening, fellas. How you guys doing, man?
Good, man. How you doing?
Great.
I'm doing wonderful, man. Despite all this snow, I'm doing wonderful.
Doing a lot of shoveling?
I kind of got a foot injury I'm dealing with right now, so I had to hire somebody to come and do some work around the house. Luckily enough, I got a couple of kids around the neighborhood that are able to help us around and do some things for us. So it worked out. It worked out.
That's good. Keep them busy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No,
So what are you up to lately other than the foot injury?
Well, lately I'm focused on what I'm doing business-wise. So I have a couple of ventures going on. I'll lead with one that's near and dear to my heart. I'm watching a lot going on in the country, and I've always been a big proponent of the communities that surround MetLife Stadium, which is where I earned a living for 10, 12 years playing professional football. And in particular, in some of the real urban cities, your Pattersons, your Newarks, your Jersey City, I want to say Camden, and a couple of the areas in the state where violence has become prevalent. There's also social violence as a result of all the social media and the posting ability and everything else with these iPhones, these iPads, these laptops, and some of the other devices that kids use. This bullying stuff has become really crazy. And I can't believe that the bullying stuff goes all the way to grade school. I'm talking, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh grade. And whereas kids should be focused on doing things a little bit more exciting and more endearing and more engaging, they're focusing on stuff that really should not be important at this specific age group. And I'm also finding issue with 13 to 25-year-olds that are either dropouts, they don't want to go to school, they're involved in drugs, they come from single-parent situations that are not good. Some kids are living in shelters and whatever else, they're acting out. And so I created this campaign called Bag the Violence. And this campaign at bagtheviolence.org, we go into communities, we educate, we engage, we get involved with kids of that discipline set, juvenile delinquents, those that are dropouts, those that don't have a career, they're not in transition, and they're not in a vocational school or trying to learn a trade of some sort. We try to help those kids. We try to help pivot them towards an even better and greater calling than the streets and violence associated with the streets. So there have been too many young kids that have gotten shot and killed of late, in particular in the Jersey Shore area, which is kind of where I live, Central Jersey to the Jersey Shore area. So it's a little bit crazy, but my nonprofit, bagtoviolence.org, has been quite engaged in this area. I'm engaging with law enforcement. I'm engaging with Tunnel to Towers, which is veterans and first responders. I have a campaign going on with Wakefern and ShopRite, where I'm selling a bag in every store. I intend to sell 1.5 million bags this year. With this campaign, I intend to donate money to not only my nonprofit, but the nonprofit of Tunnel to Towers. That's one of my projects. My other project that's near and dear to my heart is helping former athletes that have early stage Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and dementia, and then help try to find a way to help them and their families, whether it's the spouse or the former player that's dealing with this, try to help mitigate some of that damage and help them live a normal life, anxiety-free, agitation-free, and just kind of get them, on a steady path of growth versus a steady path of negativity. So my company is Pike Therapeutics. Our web address is www.piketx.com. You can see we take a transdermal patch. We place the patch on the arm of the patient. We infuse the patch with a Dromix. A Dromix is a mixture of dronabinol and a special cocktail that we're going through FDA process approval right now for. And when you use this, we've tested at every area you could possibly test of, including humans. And each and every time we test it, we have a 90% efficacy rate right now. And I think we're prepared and ready to deliver this to the public. So I think this is going to help a lot of families that are dealing with Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and dementia. And I'm really excited about this journey.
Absolutely, that's awesome.
So I'm busy, fellas. I'm busy, but I'm busy in a productive way.
Well,
That's
I
great.
love to hear that, because that hits close to the family. That I love to hear that, Leonard.
Yes.
Yeah, mine too.
Yes. I can't tackle people anymore, so I can tackle some ideas like this, and some other stuff that I'm looking to do. I just wrote a children's book called Little Ballers. It's a 17-page book for kids between the ages of 5 and 13. I'm looking to put that somehow into schools and programs, and in particular my program at Bag to Violence. So I'm living my best life, fellas.
That's awesome, man.
That's awesome.
You've always that's right on your reading level, George.
That's interesting. Yeah, so I'm having a good time. Go ahead.
You've always been a forward thinker, man. Like looking, reading your book, looking to the past. You always had a bigger plan after football, and it's just great to. I read your book. I saw a lot of things you planned to do, and you've done them, and then some.
Yes,
so that's awesome, man.
Yeah, George, I love that, man. I love the fact that I didn't let football dictate my path, but I allow football to help build who I am. And I think I've taken that process, George, and I've shaped it and crafted enough that I can deliver something a little bit more than the X's and O's.
Absolutely, you have a lot of work to be proud of.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you.
So when you first started out, did you ever see yourself coming from a small town, moving to the city, and getting to where you are now? I mean, it's quite a transition. What was that like?
Oh, wow, George. George, I'll make you laugh, but there's 2 red lights in my hometown. One you see in and one you see out. Okay? I mean, it's crazy. There's 2 bridges that connect everybody. That's the bridge of Bayou Teche and the Baldwin Bridge that connects you to South. I want to make sure I get this right. Southwest Franklin, Louisiana. I come from probably the bottom part of the state of Louisiana, right along the bayou. You guys probably have seen that show with the alligators called, what's it called, Swamp People? Or something like that. Guys
Yep.
living along the bayou,
Yep.
wrestling gators and all that. Well, that's what kids did growing up where I grew up. And that wasn't kind of my appetite, but I guess you could say this: I took sports as a means to a solution. What I wanted to do was create a better environment for Leonard, and at the same time be able to do something good for my family. My father had 7 kids. I'm the oldest of 7 children, and he worked his ass off to try to give us the best life he could. It helped me to put 3 kids through college. It helped me to buy my mother and father a couple of houses, a couple of automobiles, and then give them some income to help them raise their family. So pro football was really good for me. It shaped my life. And the gift I try to give back now to young people back in that area is, listen, athletics is not for everybody. But if it's for you, you're going to know it at an early age. Don't be afraid of being successful. Be afraid of not trying.
Absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
deep.
Love that.
So going back to the teams of the late 80s, mid 80s, early 90s, can you explain a little bit what the locker room culture was with so many personalities, obviously from the top down, Bill Parcells, Bill Belichick, Charlie Weiss, and then you mix in the likes of Lawrence Taylor, Harry Carson, Carl Banks, George Martin. I mean, I could name players forever. What was the culture of that locker room, and how did you adjust to that coming from LSU?
All right, I'm going to go back to 1983, Bill Parcells' rookie season. So Bill Parcells' rookie season was my rookie year too. And be it that I was really upset that the Giants didn't make me their first selection from LSU, the first player they drafted a kid named Terry Kennard ahead of me from Clemson. And I think they drafted Kennard from Clemson because he played in the bowl game and he was on television. And he was probably one of the highest rated cornerbacks in the draft. But what they didn't realize is the hunger and the heart of the man. The class that I came out in 1983 produced more Hall of Fame football players to date than any other class in the NFL draft. You can go and Google it. You can chat GPT it. It produced the likes of Richard Dent, Darryl Green, Darryl Talley. I could sit here and name, tons of players. 6 quarterbacks were drafted, Elway, Marino, and Kelly. All 3 are in the Hall of Fame. Running back Kurt Warner, running back Eric Dickerson, Jim Jeffcoat from the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, there's just a number of players that came in. So that draft class, I feel, was very special. When I walked in my Giants locker room, there were 2 guys that I could identify with. And that was Phil Simms, the number 1 pick, and Lawrence Taylor, number 1 pick. One guy was drafted in 79, one guy was drafted in 81. The 1982 pick was a running back by the name of Butch Woolfolk from Michigan. And for the most part, Butch wasn't really the guy getting any rhythm, and I found from the coaching staff. I felt like Butch was a guy that was kind of stuck in a rut. The Giants wanted to play Joe Morris. They knew Joe Morris was the better player. Joe was a second-round draft pick in 1982. I think the same draft class as Butch Woolfolk. And Joe Morris was a guy that I could identify with because he worked his tail off to become who he became. And we didn't have that in 1983. We had a bunch of guys that were leftovers from 1982 and 81, teams that really weren't successful with the Giants. Actually, teams that got Ray Perkins fired. And so I knew change was going to come about. I just didn't know how fast change would come about. Well, guess what? In 83, we were 3-12-1. In 84, Parcells came to me, and I'll never forget it. He said, Leonard, I'm going to give you guys the best chance to win, but I'm going to tell you right now, if I go down and I lose my job, a lot of you guys are going to go down with me. He said, so I need to know, can I count you in or can I count you out? I said, you can count me in, Bill. So the Giants went out and hired my strength and conditioning coach from LSU, a guy named Johnny Parker. And I think the evolution of Johnny Parker and the addition of a few players like Carl Banks, Gary Reasons, and the draft class of 86, I think that changed the dynamics and the culture of our locker room. We knew Harry and Lawrence would be good players, and we knew that they needed people to play with them. And Carl and I took it upon ourselves early on to become two of those guys that they could count on. And the Parcells and the Belichicks of the world, they saw that. And that's when we decided, you know what? How can we build the perfect orchestra? How can we build the perfect orchestra of what the team was in 1956 and 1958? We wanted to look like the 1958 Giants. Strong defense, a bend but not break offense, and let's win some games, but let's win them on defense. And then let's see if people can keep pace with us as we get better. And I think that's who we became from 1984 to 1986.
Incredible. And what about Bill Belichick being your coordinator? Was he the same? Was he the same way he is now with his mannerisms and everything, or was he a little more green himself, kind of fumbling through it?
Belichick was always Captain Somonex, man. He was always Captain Somonex. I mean, you know, this guy was, you know, completely football Urkel. I can tell you this, that Belichick was, he had a different personality. And because of his personality, a lot of guys didn't understand him. And they kind of stood off from him. I kind of digged him because he was very much a technical guy. And he made me become a technical player. And that's what pro football is. Everybody's big, fast, and strong. Everybody's smart. But not everybody can play their technique consistent. He held me to a certain standard technique-wise. He did, Lamar Leachman did, Parcells did. All the guys on our defensive side of our ball were held to a certain standard. And that's why, you know, when you watch us play, we were just out there doing what we did in practice every day. I mean, we just go out there and beat the shit out of people.
100%. I mean, and it kind of annoys me because people talk about the '85 Bears being the, you know, the epic defense of the '80s. I put you guys right up there. I mean,
we didn't trick you.
No,
you didn't.
That Bears shit was all tricking games. I'm gonna put 8 guys on the line of scrimmage. You got to figure out who's rushing and who's not, or who's gonna blitz and who's not, or who's gonna stunt and who's not. You know, we didn't do that shit. We lined up 7 guys, and we say, you bring it, and we'll show you who's the better guy. And that's what we did. We did it pretty well. I mean, to beat the Redskins 3 times in the same season to win a championship, I mean, you know you got to be doing something right.
yeah, and that's
Absolutely.
all. And you guys were very dominant in that era. And Leonard, you in 1985, I'm sure you've been asked this before. You took that significant jump from your first and second year to your third year where, you know, we always thought you had the skills and you had the eye test, but finally the work was paying off. The numbers were coming with it. I mean, you had 15 and a half sacks in 1985 and 99 tackles for a defensive lineman. How are you able to rack up so many?
I think when I go back and look at it, nobody knew about me. I mean, they knew about me, but they didn't know about me. I mean, 84 I had a great year. I had 8.5 sacks. I think I had something like 68 tackles, playing opposite Lawrence and playing in between Lawrence and Harry. And, you know, we won a playoff game. I mean, that team in 84, we won a playoff game against the Rams. You know, I make the play of my life. I tackled Dwayne Crutchfield in the backfield to solidify a goal line stand, and we turn around, we go down, and we score, and we win the game. We go on and lose to San Francisco 21-10 the next week. But I think what happened was our team gained some confidence. I took that confidence into the offseason, and I allowed that to manifest. And that confidence enabled me to come back with more of a vengeance. You know, I was really disappointed in 85 that I wasn't the sack king of that season because I played a 3-4 defense. I mean, I wasn't an edge rusher. You know, most of the work that I did, it was on the inside, and very little of it was on the outside. And if I played in the 4-3 defense, Carl Banks and I had joke about this all the time. If I played in the 4-3 defense, I'd have probably had 25 sacks that season. But it was fun,
Yeah.
man. I can tell you this, to become MVP of the Giants in '85 and turn around and do it again in '86, and then become NFL Defensive Lineman of the Year back to back. That took a lot of work, man, and I took a lot of pride in it. It was an individual accomplishment, but for me, it was indicative of our team. It was indicative of what we want to represent in terms of the toughness and the integrity that we play with as a football team.
Now moving
Absolutely.
in.
You had it. Oh, go ahead, Nick. Sorry. Oh,
No, you're good. We lost you, Leonard, for a minute.
We'll
He
get
said, "Fuck it, I'm out."
he said I had enough of this shit.
Yeah, we'll get Leonard back, folks. As he refixes his connection. Apologies about that. We'll make sure to get
The
him
best
back.
part about that is I just cut you off.
Yes,
Won't be the last time.
he's still out. Maybe the storm is getting him there a little bit. We'll see. All right. Well, we do have a
see you
couple
later.
comments. We do have a couple comments while we're waiting for Leonard to return. Dirty Caesar asks, well, for Leonard, do you think that's what John Harbaugh is trying to what he was talking about with Belichick before, right? We were kind of talking about like the 85 Bears a little bit and stuff like that. Do we think Harbaugh is trying to ramp up this defense similar to what the Giants had in 1986? I think that's a good question there.
I mean, I think every team in the history of the league since then has tried to do something similar. I mean, it was a dominant defense. I mean, just hearing him say the people he played with, it's hard for me to see a current team have that many Hall of Fame players together in their prime.
I'm back, fellas. I'm sorry about that.
That's all right.
We just figured you had enough.
Yeah, somebody called my phone, and I wouldn't want to take his call, so I muted him, and the next thing you know, it muted us. So my apology there.
No
Not a
worries.
problem.
Oh, good, man. So after the 85 season, do you feel you had a lot of pressure moving into the 86 season? Like with there was a lot of expectation, but you also had a lot of things lingering. You had the Joe Morris holdout. You had the George Adams, the young rookie, the injury, and then LT had his own issues. So what were your thoughts going into the 86 season? Did you expect that team to be what it turned out to be?
Well, I did. I'll be honest with you. If you remember, I held out of camp myself because I wanted a new contract. And I ended up squeezing him for some money. But I felt like I shouldn't have had to do that. I felt like, just like you guys talked about earlier, everything with me continued to propel forward. And if you're going to invest in a player, you want to invest in a player while he's coming up versus a player that's on the decline. So I felt like at that time it was dirty pool on the Giants' behalf as the way they treated me. However, I didn't let that get in the way of, my mindset in terms of what I want to accomplish, my goals, and the team goals. And I was not a selfish football player. If you go back and watch the way I played the game, I played the game with a lot of vigor, but I also played the game with the intent to play the scheme of defense and not do what I wanted to do on my terms, and do what the scheme called for, and then play in the confinement of the scheme, and not just go do things just to get sacks or just to make tackles or just to play to the fanfare. I didn't do that type of stuff. So what I'll say is, chemistry wise, I think that when I returned to camp and returned to play, I didn't have a chip on my shoulder. And I remember telling Parcells, matter of fact, I'll tell you guys a funny. This is a real funny. This is a real good one. So I come back to practice. The second day I'm in practice, I'm standing by the water cooler. And George Martin said, "Man, I'm so happy to have you back, man." He goes, "Wow." He goes, "Dude, what was it like to be out there like that?" I said, "Well, man, it was scary because I was out there by myself. You guys were here doing your thing, man. I was missing you cats. And but what they don't know is I would have came back for less money. and Wellington Mara was standing over my left shoulder. And Wellington Mara turned around and said, never forget, he said, I sure wish I knew that.
God damn it.
So that was some funny shit. But Wellington was funny, man. It was great to work for him, man. He was a great owner.
Yeah. Rest his soul.
Rest his soul.
Going back to Bill Parcells, he believed potential doesn't win games, performance does.
Yes.
When you watch the Giants game, the Giants team of, let's say, the last 10, 12 years, they really need to adopt that concept. And I'm hoping Harbaugh's the guy to bring that in. Any thoughts on the recent transition of coaches while we're on the topic?
Well, I can tell you this, fellas. We got a football guy now. We don't have a guy from college football. He didn't coach at Alabama. He didn't coach at Oregon or Tennessee or one of these crazy schools in college. We've got a real football guy, a guy with a 19-year success at another NFL team, and now bringing that same style of play and that same football integrity to this group. This group needs to be challenged, I feel. There are a lot of young players on that team that I think have a lot of growth in them. I think that, the quarterback position is pretty much a fixture in the grand scheme of things. I think we got edge rushers. I think we've got some guys that can play in the middle. I'd like to see them lose some weight and get a little bit more productive, to be honest with you. But I think we got some guys that can play in the middle. I know if I was coaching them, I'd demand a little bit more. I think that we could use some help in the secondary. I think we could use some help in the O-line. But I like the nucleus of what he has to work with. And I think John, just thinking outside the box, and what I know about John Harbaugh from watching his teams play, his teams remind me of a Bill Parcells type of team. We're going to play good defense. We're going to run the football well. We're going to not make mistakes at the quarterback position. And if we do, it's not going to be something stupid. It's going to be because we tried something and it just didn't work. And I think that, the fact that he had an MVP quarterback 2 years in a row in Baltimore puts a little bit of pressure on Jackson Dart now, because Jackson Dart's going to play for this guy. And the guy that teaches him is going to be, under a watchful eye now. So I think that there's some good things that could come of this. I think things are on the up and up with us. And I'm excited to watch Giant football this year.
We are too. I don't know if it's the money these kids make now compared to your era, but I mean, it looks like a pain in the ass to coach these guys at this point. They do what they want. They say what they want. They're late. They're this. They're lazy. They sleep. They do. The work ethic doesn't seem to be punished as often. And when Dable was coaching, I think he was letting a lot of it go due to his position with the team standing. But, I mean, Kafka had to come in the interim and clean a lot of that up. In your era, I'm willing to guess Parcells he wouldn't think anything about it but to get up in your ass about something.
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, my rookie year, they're trying to tease me and say, call me the fat kid from Louisiana. And then I shut that shit up. By just whipping a lot of ass and shit. And then the next thing you know, they're not finding guys, that they're not making guys weigh in every week. He used to do that weigh-in shit just to mess with me, my rookie year. So then the next season, I used to tell him, I guess every time I make weight, I'm gonna make you pay me now. For every pound I come in underweight, I'm gonna make you pay me now. He said, "You're a real smart ass there."
Yeah.
You're like Bill Cosby. You're a politician. You're always looking to negotiate some shit. I go, yeah, hell yeah, I'm looking to negotiate. Shit, you guys are always trying to negotiate me to play better, right? So I need to negotiate you, give me some more money.
Now you didn't seem to let it bother you, at least on the surface, but you kind of went in your rookie season. You didn't really seem to take shit from anybody.
No.
You had Harry Carson trying to intimidate you early on.
Yeah.
And you didn't go with the norm. You stood up for yourself.
Yeah.
What was his reaction to that?
Well, his reaction, Harry's one of my best friends today, man. I love Harry to death. I mean, if there's any one guy that I attribute my success to as a player, actually it'd be three guys. I think Lawrence, Harry, and George Martin had a lot to do with my success as a player, both on the field, off the field, and in the way I carried myself around the organization. Harry's just an amazing person. I don't know. I can't say enough good things about Harry Carson. If someone was to say something bad, I'd be the first guy to fight you over it, because I can't talk about a classier player, that was very unselfish. I mean, I'm talking very unselfish. I mean, he'd take a young guy and point him in the right direction. If that young guy was pivoting, he'd pivot him back towards what he should be doing and not what he thinks he should be doing. And George Martin was the same kind of guy. I think with Lawrence, the balance I got from Lawrence and having a friendship with Lawrence, that son of a bitch is just competitive. And I like competitive guys. And every time we get in the ball game, and we could take over a game, he and I would try to do it. I mean, we try to do it together, and it was just amazing to play with somebody like that.
You were a great team in tandem. I mean, you were kind of making the connection up front, and he was kind of shooting free from every angle. So you guys were perfectly complementary.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, I recall a game, I think he and I had 7.5 sacks against the Eagles. And I'm looking at him, he's looking at me. I said, isn't this shit fun?
Love that.
Yeah. So, I think Randall Cunningham and Jaworski thought they were a fire hydrant, and we were the dogs pissing on it.
Who was a quarterback you absolutely loved to hit really hard? Was there anyone rival-wise or someone you only played once every 4 years or so? Was there one guy you just loved to tee off on?
Neil Lomax from the St. Louis Cardinals. Because I had it bad for the left tackle, Louis Sharp. I had it bad for the left tackle. I just thought he was so fucking cool. And every time I played him, I used to treat him like a redhead stepchild. I just throw him all over the place. I'd take him and throw him all in the pile. I'd do all kinds of crazy shit to him. Piss him off, punch him in the back, all kinds of shit. But all within the game, though. All within the game, not a dirty player,
That poor motherfucker. So it wasn't even so much the quarterback.
Yeah.
you just wanted to show the left tackle you owned him.
Yeah, well, I really want to show him here, man. I'm not gonna be punked around, the beauty of it was he was friends with Lonnie Young,
Mm-hmm.
and Lonnie Young and Carl Banks were teammates together at Michigan State. So I make sure that Carl talked to Lonnie Young before the game, just to get an idea if Louis gonna come to play today, or he gonna come, fooling around and trying to play games and shit. So at the end of the game, every time we played him, I made sure that I walked off the field like, I got you.
So he was all screwed up without even putting the pads on.
Yeah, he was a hell of a player, though, guys. I mean, as a left tackle, I could tell you he protected Neil Lomax's blind side for the most part. I mean, some of the real edge rushers, the Dexter Manleys of the world, and some of those guys, they didn't get sacks against him. But because of the scheme and the style we played, I was just real physical with him. I mean, I used to pick him up and throw him and just do all kinds of shit to him. God rest his soul, Louis. He passed away, man, sometime earlier this year. But he was a hell of a player, man. I enjoyed playing against him. He was good competition for me.
What about going against Joey Jacoby or Russ Grimm from Washington? What was that like? Those are some big men.
Oh, yeah.
Those two guys, that was Clash of the Titans there, brother. That was Clash of the Titans, I'm telling you. Every time we got together, I'm real good friends with Jake right now. I mean, we call each other all the time just to check on each other and see how we're doing. And it's a shame, I think Jacoby should be in the Hall of Fame. I thought that a player of his caliber, a free agent, joining the Redskins and having a 10, 12-year career with the Redskins and playing a left tackle position, I thought he was one of the best in football, especially during his era. I enjoyed him. I enjoyed Herb Pankey. I enjoyed playing against Anthony Munoz. I enjoyed playing. Yep. And I got him too. Who else? Let me see. Jim Lachey from the Skins, Jim Lachey from the Cardinals. Who's the kid that played left tackle for Minnesota? We tried to get him on the Giants. Gary Zimmerman. I enjoyed playing against him. I enjoyed playing against the left guard, Randall McDaniel. All the guys, man. Mark Tuanay, Nate Newton. All those guys are great players, man. I enjoy playing against them. Much respect for all of them, too. Much respect for all of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
the game's built on respect.
Yeah, much respect for all of them.
Yeah, a lot of
So
tough
you had.
opponents.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Tom.
No, go ahead, George. I think we were
No.
talking about like Leonard just dominating opposing offensive linemen. I think that led him to get into some quarterbacks too.
Yeah.
I think you're the most underrated Giant defensive player in history. You're in the topic of the you're in the topic of the conversation, but I think that you're really overlooked for your contributions. I mean, 79.5 sacks as a Giant for a lineman that you even said earlier plays predominantly inside. You were a tackle monster. I mean, you had what, 700 tackles or more?
Over 700. Over 700.
That's a lot in that era for that position. And on top of that, you're sharing that side of the field with Carl Banks, Harry Carson, Lawrence Taylor. It's just a beautiful scheme, and I think you're one of the most underrated players we've ever had.
Yeah, well, thank you. I mean, I really worked my tail off and prided myself on trying to be one of the most accountable players in the grand scheme of things while playing for the Giants. I really, really took a lot of pride in that.
Yeah. I personally think you did it the right way, you know, and that's all you can really ask for at the end of the day. And I think
that's it.
You know, my parents feel the same way. They grew up watching you in the 80s. My mom actually has a comment. Awesome to listen to a legend talk and tell his story. Super awesome to hear about his charity work. Love to see the players give back to the community.
Yes, yes. I'm a big proponent of it. I'm a big proponent of it.
Go ahead, Nick. I think.
No, I was just going to go back. So you love, there was quarterbacks, there's people you liked fucking up. Who was
Go ahead.
Who was one of the biggest trash talkers out on that field that just drove you nuts?
You talking about on my team or on the other team?
Well, we can go either way.
Okay.
Who was the best trash talker on your team?
No doubt the biggest shit talker on my team was Thomas Pepper Raising Hell Johnson.
Pepper Johnson. There you go.
Pepper Johnson talked more shit in the course of a game, and I loved it. I loved it. I mean, he would talk shit to running backs. He would talk shit to quarterbacks. You know, he was his rookie year, man. I loved him. I mean, I loved him up from the day he joined the Giants as a number 2 draft pick out of Ohio State. And today we're real close. He's an unbelievable guy, man. I loved him my whole career. I loved his energy. I love his passion, what he brought to playing defense in our huddle. You know, what he brought to the 1990 team, I'm sorry. What he brought to the 1990 team when he became a full-fledged starter was just like amazing. He was an amazing player, very athletic, could do a lot of things dynamically that most guys couldn't. And yeah, Pep was my boy, man. Still is.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Now, just to go back a little bit, we mentioned Bill Belichick. How do you feel about him getting slighted recently? He's not in the Hall of Fame. He's not a first ballot Hall of Famer. How do you feel about that?
Well, there shouldn't be a damn Hall of Fame without Belichick in it. That's how I feel. I mean, there's only one other guy I think that has anywhere near the credentials of a Belichick to be in the Hall of Fame, and that's Don Shula. And Belichick's teams Belichick's win record is right next to Don Shula. You know, with 6 Super Bowl rings in New England and 2 Super Bowl rings with the Giants, he started as a special teams coach. He was an assistant special teams coach. So you couldn't start more lore in any organization than being an assistant special teams coach. And he started as an assistant special teams coach, became a defensive coordinator in 1984, and then ran our defense in 85, the year that I'm defensive lineman of the year and MVP of the Giants, and then does it again in 86 when I do it back to back. And I love the guy. I love the way he took Lawrence and I and paired us together and turned us loose and told us, just go make football plays. I'm going to take the thinking out of it for you. Just go make football plays. And that's what we love.
So you talked earlier about Belichick being kind of a different kind of cat as far as how he was giving you guys the breakdown. And you seem to kind of propelled yourself in that. So did Lawrence Taylor, but was he receiving the information the same way, or did he not even have to do that? He just had it.
Lawrence, not only did Lawrence have it, but Lawrence, as much as you guys want to believe that Lawrence wasn't paying attention half the time, and people say that the guy was asleep in meetings and shit, Lawrence Taylor was very astute as to what was going on. He was very astute. And then when he didn't know what was going on, he had me to fall back on, and he had Harry to fall back on. And we would never let him get out of line or be out of character or be out of sync with what we were trying to accomplish. And Lawrence just had this special thing, man. Lawrence just had it. That's the best way for me to describe it. He had it, and most guys don't have it, and he had it. And it meant that no matter what kind of shit he got into, he'd find a way to get it out. I'll get out of it. I mean, he was just that talented, guys.
I believe it.
Yeah, he was just that talented. I mean, I've been around a lot of players. I mean, I played with some guys at LSU. I played with some guys on the Giants. I played with some guys, in All-Star games. The only guy I could think of that had anywhere near the talent that Lawrence had, and I used to like to watch him play because I watch him play on film, and that's his best friend, Ricky Jackson. Ricky Jackson from the Saints played the same style of football as Lawrence Taylor.
Smash mouth.
Yep.
So, changing gears a little bit.
Sure.
I want to walk through my favorite play of all time. I know you already know probably where we're going to go with this. 1990 NFC Championship game. This is a play they should show every lazy rookie, all right? Because so much shit goes wrong for you in this play. You want to give us a little rundown of what's going on here?
Sure. So I slip. I get a great jump off the ball. I slip. I was trying to get the Bubba's outside shoulder real fast. And I slip and I'm crawling and Tom Rathman dives at my knees and I get up and I see Joe pat the football to tell to tell Jerry Rice to keep running. And I turn and I say to myself, if I don't leave my feet, he's going to complete this pass. So after that, the rest of it was history. Lights out Irene, baby.
I love it.
I love that.
That's one of my favorite quotes is just because, well, actually, one thing, didn't Jim Burt take a cheap hit on Hostetler the series before?
Yes. There was a play in the game.
Hit?
Yeah, it was a questionable hit earlier in the game where Jeff's leg was planted and Jim put his helmet on his patella. And we knew that in our locker room. And, most of the guys say, okay, he's formerly one of us. We know what his intention was, to get Jeff out of the game. My intention wasn't to hurt Montana. My intention was to separate him from the ball and Mark Collins catch it and run in for a touchdown. It just so happened that play became what it became. And what I could tell you this about the play, as I'm going through it, I think of every coach telling me everything they told me when I was a young kid. Get up off the ground is hot. Get up off the ground is hot. Continue to play till the whistle's blown. And that's what I did on that football play. Had I given up, we wouldn't be sitting there talking.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That play, seemingly dismantled the dynasty of the 49ers. That was huge play. Now be honest, at one point after you hit him, did you think for even a split second, I just fucking killed Joe Montana?
Yes, I did. And I did it on the sideline. And I'll never forget it. I looked at Magic Johnson and Danny Ainge was on our sideline. And then I looked at Gregory Hines and Billy Crystal. And Billy Crystal went like this here, you just killed him.
Well, he didn't move for a little bit. He was
he was out.
He was out.
Yeah, I knew that was going to hurt. I knew it was going to hurt. But it was never my intention. And people always want to say to me, "Oh, you tried to hurt him." No, I didn't. I played the football play the way it's supposed to be played. Till the whistle's blown, I got my ass up off the ground and I left my feet to separate him from the ball. That's what I did.
Have you and Joe, in passing over the years, kind of rehashed that play or bust balls about it, or is it just something you guys don't talk about?
I've seen him in a couple of autograph shows. Gary Takahashi shows and different autograph shows, and he's over it. I'm over it. It was a dynamite football play. He knew it was a play in the confine of what we do as players in a game, and there was no animosity there. I mean, and to be honest with you, I felt really bad about it because, you never want to see a player, get blindsided like that. And but I just was doing my job. I was doing what I was called to do, and there's another play in the game. I can tell you guys this. There's another play in the game where I think we got robbed. I don't know if you remember this, but in the waning moments at the end of the ball game, the 49ers run a football play, and they hand the ball off to Roger Craig. And I put my elbow right in his rib cage, and he fumbles. And they turn around and try to say his knee was down. If you go back and watch the game, you'll see that play. That ball was ours. The ball came out. His knee was not on the ground. The ball came out before his right knee touched the ground. But for some reason, because we were in Candlestick, they gave them the ball.
And you didn't have the review process they have today.
You didn't
Frankly,
have it. That's right.
I'm not sure if it's better for the game or not. I mean, I'm 40 years old. I still don't know what a legal catch is anymore, even with the extra footage.
Right. It's crazy. It's crazy what's going on in the NFL. And I saw so many games this year that were played that where referees were involved in the outcome of the game. That never happened during our era.
Yeah. And that kind of poses the question, Leonard, your specific position has been impacted by some of these changes, the defensive line position, how you could hit the quarterback as a defender. How has your specific position changed since your playing days?
Oh, dude, they would have locked me up for the thing that happened with me in Montana. I would have probably got fined $1 million for something like that. They'd have made me like, what's that defensive lineman name? Kendamina Soup?
Yeah.
They'd have probably tried to tag me with that kind of thing or something like that for playing the way I played. I mean, between him, Danny White, Joe Theismann, Steve, what's the kid's name that played in Dallas? Pallure. There's so many of these quarterbacks that Lawrence and I fucked up more or less in the course of games. Poor Jaworski, man. I mean,
I was just going to mention Jaws.
Poor Jaworski. I mean, it wouldn't have went on. I mean, it just wouldn't have happened. So, like Lawrence says in some of the podcasts or some of the videos you see of him on Instagram and TikTok, the game is different. It's not as physical as it was in our era. Our game was about physical intimidation and playing till the whistle blew and playing hard, not playing I wasn't playing for the hot chick or the big watch or the hot car. I was playing to be great. I want to leave the game with a legacy to be great. That's one of the things that upsets the hell out of me today. All the work I put in and the Pro Football Hall of Fame still doesn't recognize that work. I see players getting in the Hall of Fame that never won Super Bowls. I see players getting in the Hall of Fame that never were Defensive Lineman of the Year for their team or MVP of their team or anything like that. I see all that crap and I'm like looking at it and I'm saying to myself, this Pro Football Hall of Fame stuff is crazy because I don't know who's voting for these guys to get in the Hall of Fame. It's bananas.
Yeah.
Bananas.
I can't figure it out, especially after yesterday.
Yeah. Judge a guy on his contributions. Did he make his team good? Did he make his team better? Did he win championships? Was he the most dominant at his position? In the grand scheme of what he did, whether he played in a 3-4 or 4-3, whatever, could he have done it somewhere else if he was in that situation? That's what I'd be judging a player on. I wouldn't be judging him on politics and garbage.
No, you're 100% correct. I mean, and even thinking back, I mean, the sack itself wasn't a legitimate stat until the 80s. So
82,
Yes.
82,
yeah,
right?
so,
Yes.
so just think about it. He's one of the guys that racked up the most sacks from that position in that era. Like that's how I look at it. You want to balance era versus era. He's one of the most dominant defensive linemen in that era. He deserves to be in. Just my two
Yeah.
cents.
I mean, and I'll look at it this way. I'll say it this way, guys. I mean, was it a pass happy league when I played? No. It was 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Everybody had to run the football. And if you were in the Northeast, you had to run the football in November and December to be in the playoffs. If you couldn't run the football, you weren't going to make the playoffs.
Now, do you think the league's a little too soft now with all what we're talking about? I mean, it's an offensive driven league now. Teams are putting up 40 points. Almost seems like every week, and it wasn't like that back then.
No, I'm telling you, people, you guys used to come to games and you'd be defense, 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 and you guys be banging on shit. I used to love it. I'm telling you, I used to play to that, and I don't see that no more.
It's all gone.
When I go to a game. I do not see that. They want to see guys catching bomb touchdowns and doing the funky chicken in the end zone and all that shit. That's not football, man. Football is, a struggle. Two big guys grinding it out, struggle.
You can read a book comfortably at MetLife. It's such a different animal than the Meadowlands. The Meadowlands, I mean, you just remember that distinct sound of hands on metal and hands on plastic, and it was just always a bang, 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 bang the whole game, bell to bell.
Yeah.
Now at MetLife, everyone's on their phone. People are taking pictures. It's a totally different animal.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, me and George went to week 3 this year, the home opener, Giants against Kansas City, the Chiefs, and the crowd was dead from the beginning. Like everybody was on their phones. Nobody even seemed to really know the sport. It was crazy. And from the get-go, it just wasn't the same atmosphere you used to get.
Yeah, they were too busy looking for Jason Kelsey and Taylor Swift, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was wrong, You went there to watch the game, not watch that bitch. You know what I mean?
But they did, for people that were at the game, they did the Taylor cam.
Oh,
they,
yeah.
had they had the whole stadium looking for Taylor Swift.
Wow.
And then they flashed to LT in the box smoking his cigar.
See?
And he was like, and the place erupted. That was the loudest I heard MetLife in a long time. Like it woke everybody
funny.
up. But
that is so funny.
Started,
that is so funny.
And then somebody's like, "You can smoke in here?" I'm like, "No, Lawrence Taylor
can smoke in here." Yeah, different strokes for different folks, baby.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
So Leonard, we just talked about the Kansas City game this year. This current defense, there's pieces there. You have guys like Brian Burns and Abdul Carter.
Right.
Dexter up the middle. There's a few pieces in place, but how would you put it all together? Because it seems like there were some struggles other than Burns, right? He had 16.5 sacks this year. George and I kind of spoke throughout the season. We felt that the defensive scheme, it lacked creativity. It was just to us watching the games, it seemed like Burns, you get to the quarterback and he's good enough that he was able to do it. Everyone else it seemed like the coaching just wasn't there, that there was a disconnect. And sure, it's on the players too, but how would you, I guess, put this defense together to improve heading into next year, if that makes sense?
I would scrap what they did last year. I would scrap what they did the year before.
That too.
I would go back and play a 3-4. They got 6'4", 6'5" linebackers. I put Burns on one side. I put Thibodeau on one side. I put Dexter's big butt at nose tackle. I'd get me a badass right defensive end that kind of will be reminded of Leonard Marshall style play. A guy who could hit gaps, and a guy who could get to the quarterback from a head up position, and that was a bitch against the run. Some guy that would clog the middle against the run, play tackle to tackle, and end to end in the interior. They needed two guys like George Martin and I were in the grand scheme of things in a 3-4 scheme with Burns and Thibodeau outside. And I would play Carter as a how do I say this? I would play Carter as a joker. I would use Carter on 2nd and long and 3rd and long, and I'd also play him at right outside linebacker, next to the right defensive end, more like they did with Lawrence Taylor, And I used Thibodeau in a variation where on 3rd down I bring Thibodeau in to do some things, and I play Thibodeau and I let Thibodeau spell Carter and Carter spell Thibodeau. That's what I would do if I was coordinating defense. I'd get me 2 badasses in the middle. I look to get me 2 guys that can play middle inside linebacker, Mike and Will, 2 guys that can flow well in the run game, and 2 guys that can play well in pass coverage. I play a lot of cover 2, and I play a lot of cover 2 man. I also play a lot of cover 3 on 3rd and long, or I play man on 3rd and long. And I challenge people the way we did. You bring your best 11, I'll bring my best 11. And I bet you my 11 I'll play your 11. That's what I would do.
We talked about that, Tom, earlier in the year when we had that whole juggle of Burns, Thibodeau, and Abdul Carter. They could have put Abdul back there on the right side behind Thibodeau when he was healthy and see how that looked. I mean, they were always just kind of rotating him through. They never really had him on the same side stacked like that. That's a very good point. I think that would actually work if Thibodeau's healthy enough.
Yeah. I think I would platoon them. I'd make one of them earn the spot, but I wouldn't give it to him. I'd make one of them earn the spot, but I'd definitely play Burns as the front side linebacker, and then give him the ability to rush the quarterback. Yeah, I definitely would do that.
I think we're at you, Nick, right?
What's that, man? Yep.
Your connection bad?
Did I cut out for a minute?
No, I think you're good.
Oh.
Yeah, you're good, man. You're good.
All right, we're all good, man. So moving back to how dead the Giants crowd was all fucking season and previous season before, when you were playing, what team was the hardest team to show up and play at? What team had the best home field advantage?
The damn Redskins.
Wow.
The damn Redskins.
Wow.
When you went to RFK, they put those 3 hog dudes behind the bench. They dressed up like hogettes. They dressed up like girls in piglet outfits. It was 3 lawyers too, believe it or not. And they put them right behind the visiting team bench. And then you had to walk down. So when you went in at halftime, you had to walk down underneath a tunnel, and they would throw whiskey in your face. The Redskin fans.
Wow.
They would pour bourbon and scotch in your face. Oh yeah. It was pretty ugly, man. I mean, games where we beat them and whipped that ass in DC, they throw liquor in our face.
Times have changed.
And then I became a Redskin at the end of my career. So I played a season at RFK. So it was crazy. It was crazy.
Wow.
Philadelphia was a tough place to play. I'll never forget it. Philadelphia was a tough place to play, man. Philadelphia was like, wow. Philadelphia was a tough place to play, man. I used to be like, okay, Leonard, the fans are talking shit. Don't say nothing. Because if you say something, you're going to want to go find your gun after the game. So, don't do nothing. So, it worked out. It worked out. But, a couple of those places are real tough.
I think the wildest thing, I heard Eli Manning quote once. He goes, "You haven't seen anything until you see a 7-year-old flipping you off while we are on the field." It's got to be weird to see kids and just that whole entire culture just want to kill you.
You talking about Philly? You talking about Philly?
Yeah, Philly specifically.
Oh yeah. Oh, Philly was a mess, man. Philly was a mess. Let me see, what else was a mess? Classless. I'm thinking classless now. Philly. Chicago was quite testy too when we played the Bears in '85.
Yeah.
That was a little contentious too, yeah. When we played the Bears in '85, that was contentious. They talked a lot of shit. Never had any issue in Arizona. They were all drunk at the game. They were all drunk, but yeah, I mean, of the worst stadiums to play was definitely Philly and DC.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
not to make a Redskin joke, but just an open question. Leonard, is there anything in your career you would have changed, or would you have just done it exactly the same?
If there's any one thing I would have changed, I probably would have been in better shape my rookie year. Had I knew what was expected of me, and I really had the guidance to become a pro. I mean, I can tell you this. My cousin played pro football. His name is Ernie Ladd. I don't know if you guys know who Ernie Ladd really is. He's a
Is that a wrestler?
He was a wrestler. He was a
Yeah.
wrestler after his football career. He was 6'9", 340 pounds, and he comes from the same hometown I come from in Louisiana, and he's a second cousin to me. He's deceased now, but the beauty of it, I had him as a role model as I was trying to go on my journey. And so I used to look to him and talk to him all the time about, the game and about, what I could do to have longevity in the game. And, I held on to that for quite a while, man. So if there's any one thing that I could think of, if I could redo it, I'd like to have my rookie year back, because I think I'd have been a much better player had I knew then what I know now.
Now
No,
you I'm sorry, Tom. You had came in your rookie year. You weren't even that overweight. You said the main issue was conditioning. Really, right?
It was conditioning. It was being able to play 45 to 50 minutes of a game. It was being able to be accountable in those games, to make football plays, and to play up to the level of being able to play with Harry and Lawrence. I really felt like I did them some injustice. And although I finished the season strong now, my rookie year, I finished it strong, and it led me into the off season. It made me work real hard in the off season. I worked so hard in the off season on my body fat, on my weight. I maintained a good diet. I used to go to that stadium and work out every day. And I did that consistently most of my career. And that's why I ended up having a long career, because I found out what it took to call yourself a pro. And that's the one thing I can tell a rookie player. You get 1 year to screw it up.
Yeah.
And if you're lucky, you're smart enough, you can play another 10, 11, 12 years if you really work your ass off. So that's the beauty behind, I guess, the way I did it. And I'm proud of everything I did, man. There's not one moment I wish I could change, because, failure makes you better. You got to fail in order to be successful. I don't know one guy who has not failed in anything he tried to do and hadn't become successful as a result of it.
No, well
That's
said.
great.
That's, yeah, absolutely. Just a couple more, Leonard, if that's okay. So your performances in the Super Bowl, I just want to ask, what is it like to play on the biggest stage? Now, you got the chance to do it twice. Super Bowl 21, you went up against John Elway and the Denver Broncos. And then in 25, 35 years ago yesterday was Wide Right,
Yes.
which is crazy to think about. Now, specifically in that Super Bowl, why did the two down lineman strategy work of you and I think it was Eric Howard, right? Number 74.
Yes.
Why was that implemented for that game, and why did it work so well, on top of just your thoughts on playing in the big game?
So you guys not gonna believe this. So right after I knocked Montana out, and we're getting ready to fly to Tampa, and we're on the plane. Bill Belichick comes to the back of the plane. He said, Lenny, he says, I got to talk to you guys. Can we huddle? I said, sure. He says, I've been doing some work on this thing with the Bills and the K-gun offense. I said, yeah, and what does that look like, Bill? He says, well, I'm going to tell you, if they're the team we play, and I think that's the team we're going to play, we're going to do an entirely different scheme to get ready to beat them. I said, really? I said, yeah. He said, what are you looking to do, Bill? He goes, well, we're going to concede the run to Thurman Thomas. We're going to allow him to get 100 yards. I said, are you out of your fucking mind? I said, we don't give no running back 100 yards. You got to earn every goddamn yard you get against the Giants defense. He said, no, we're going to concede the run. Just trust me. We're going to concede the run. He goes, I want to take the air out the ball. I said, you want to take the air out the ball? He says, yeah, I want to take the air out the ball. I don't want him to be able to throw these dinks and dunks and pass across the middle. And every time they come across the middle, I'm going to have 5 DBs lighting their ass up like it's a goddamn electric light bulb on a fly. I said, okay. So show me what that looks like. He goes, I'm going to play you at right end. No, I'm going to play you at left end. I'm going to play Lawrence at right end. And I'm going to play Eric Howard in the middle. I said, you're going to play 2 defensive linemen, 4 linebackers, and 5 DBs in the game? He goes, yep, that's what I'm going to do. Thurman Thomas is going to get 180 yards, and we're going to win the game. I said, Bill, come on, man, you crazy. You're out of your mind. That can't happen, Bill. He goes, I'm telling you what's going to happen. And I'm telling you, you got to trust me. I'm going to shut that offense down, and you guys are going to help me do it, and this is how we're going to do it. So now, mind you, the week before, I end up having, 2.5 sacks in the game against San Francisco. We knocked Montana out the game. I'm like, damn, I got to come rise up to the occasion again to do something big in this game. Okay, so I'm thinking, how am I going to do that? I mean, I'm playing against a guy 360 pounds, and his name was Hank Ballard, this kid from Buffalo. He's 360 pounds, 6'6". I'm like, and Lawrence is going to play against their other tackle, who's a Pro Bowl tackle. He's 6'5", 320, 30, 40, or whatever. I just didn't see it. I didn't buy it. But you know what? I guess as the game went on, and then thinking about it, okay, they scored 91 points against their first 2 opponents leading up to the Super Bowl. Their opponents scored 3. So now we got to score at least 14 points to beat them. Because I felt like we could give them 3 field goals in the game, but we couldn't give them 4. And if we gave them 4, we wanted to make damn sure that our offense could score enough points to kind of stretch the game out. Man, when Parcells showed me what he was going to do to Bruce Smith and how he was going to run that football down his throat, I said, you know what? This just might work. And it did. It did. And I'm telling you, I've never seen anything crazy like that before with Belichick, but that just told me just how smart that guy was.
That decision alone should be the thing that gets him over to get into the Hall of Fame if it wasn't for the 6 Super Bowls before that. It's really ridiculous. Even when you're telling that story, I'm thinking, like, what a foresight for a coordinator to have, and what a risky job that is at that point. Because you guys looked at him like he was crazy.
We thought he was absolutely crazy. There was 1 sack in the game, and it was mine on Jim Kelly.
Yeah.
It was 1 sack in the entire game. That was it. We couldn't get the guy on the ground. The ball was coming out real quick every time. Either they were running it or it was coming out real quick. But I can tell you this: at the end of the game, I probably was tired. That probably was the most physical game I played, and I was extremely happy that we were able to come away with a win. I didn't think we could, but I really was happy we could come away with a win.
What did you feel when you saw the field goal go up in the air? Like that's one of my favorite moments in football is when it's a game-winning or a game-tying field goal. When we're talking about Buffalo with Scott Norwood, just you see that wide pan of everybody looking at it. What did that feel like in the moment?
Oh, dude, it was crazy because I turned. My father was sitting right behind the bench, and I whispered to him, like, "Daddy, he misses. We're going to Disney World."
Did you think he was going to miss though? I mean, were you like,
well,
mother?
we kind of knew the guy had never made a kick on grass over 40 yards, so we knew that in part of our study and our game plan, and we wanted to force him to have to kick a 40+ yard field goal, and believe it or not, he hit it good, but it just veered off to the right. You know, he hit it real good though. I can tell you that.
Yeah, and the rest is history.
The rest is history.
2 Super Bowls. With those Super Bowls, it kind of opened a lot of doors for you. And while doing research for this, I found something I didn't know. You were at one point associated with Howard Stern. How did that come about?
Oh my God! I wrote a book in '85 with a guy who is no longer with us now, a deceased writer by the name of Dave Klein. And I was a young kid at the time, man. I was just having fun. You know, somebody wanted to pay me some money to hear my story. I said, okay. You know, this is before social media. I said, okay, I'll take it on, Dave. Let's do it. And we wrote this book. Howard Stern picked up the book. At the time, I was married to someone else, and she happened to be Italian. And you know, he found a way to pick on me for that. You know, and there were no other black athletes really into Howard Stern, into that whole genre of music and everything he was doing. And I kind of was, you know, being that I'm a kid from the South, you know, Southern rock and roll and that type of stuff was attractive to me. I knew some of the groups and some of the bands that were going on this show, you know, Dee Snider and the Twisted Sister, the band Twisted Sister.
Yeah, we're not going to take it.
Some of the Kiss Me, right? We're not going to take it. You know, Kiss, Queen, you know, some of those groups. And so I was a big fan of music. Always been a big fan of music. And as a matter of fact, one of my favorite groups is a group called Parliament Funkadelic. And I like them because they just do it the way they do it. You know, it's funky, and then it's P-Funk rock. You know, so it's kind of a combination of both sounds. But you know, and I give kudos to George Clinton, my man, for
George
doing
Clinton.
that. You know, it was big in my childhood, man. It was big in my childhood. And big fan of Bootsy Collins, big fan of music. But that's what led me to do the Howard Stern Show. Is I thought it was a cool program. You know, I thought he was a guy that crossed over well into music. And at that time, music had crossed over into sports, but sports hadn't crossed over into music. And I kind of felt that it was time for that to kind of happen. And if you look at it, after I did the show, everybody wanted to be on the Howard Stern Show. Barkley wanted to be on it. Lawrence Taylor wanted to be on it. Everybody wanted to be on the Howard Stern Show. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, and he actually kissed your ass on Madison Avenue.
he sure did. He lost the bet. He sure did. He lost the bet.
What an obscure thing to have over the king of all media. Because you probably, at the time, you had no idea he was going to go where he went, right?
No, I had no idea. We were just fooling around on the radio. You know, he was fooling around on the radio, and he said, you know, you win the game. Because he didn't think we'd go win the game, you know. But then again, Howard's a buster, so he's trying to bust my balls. You know, he's trying to bust my balls a bit. So I told Gary and I told Jackie at the time, I said, I'm going to take this bastard up on this bet. You know, fuck him. I'm going to take his ass up on this bet. And,
you had no idea 40 years later.
No idea. I said, but Howard, you're going to paint your face black and kiss my ass and shine my shoes like Sambo the shoe shine boy. That's what you're going to do. Because I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to beat San Francisco's ass. And sure enough, I did it.
That's fucking great.
Incredible.
Fun times,
So let's talk
man.
about, can we talk about food for 1 second?
Sure,
So
1 second.
I love New Jersey diners. I think they're the best diners on earth. My favorite spot is a spot called the Coach House. Do you have any food spots in Jersey that I got to check out after or before a game?
Dude, you got to do this for yourself. The hottest 2 diners in New Jersey, to me, are Top's Diner. It's in East Newark. And the second one, the Brownstone Pancake House has one in Ridgewood, one in Englewood, one in Freehold, and one in Brick, New Jersey. And my man Bobby does a great job with food. But if I was making the choice and I was in Bergen County or in southern Bergen County, you got to go to Top's Diner in East Newark. I promise you, you'll have the best meal you've ever had. In a diner. The best.
Love diner food. George, how do you feel about
Absolutely.
diner food?
It's my favorite thing. I would eat it all 3
Yeah.
meals if I could, but
That
There you
and
go.
cereal, right?
Yeah.
cereal,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Top's Diner is killer, man. It's killer. I'm telling you, when you're gonna go and you're gonna say, Leonard was goddamn right about that.
That's crazy.
Right on target.
So I think we're up to our last one from us.
Okay, bud.
So Leonard, you played 10 seasons with the Giants,
Yes.
and your numbers were incredible, as we've been discussing throughout the course of the show. I know the Ring of Honor inductee means so much to you, being a 2-time Super Bowl champion, 83 and a half career sacks, 714 tackles, 15 forced fumbles. What made playing for the Giants so special? And when Giants fans and NFL fans think of Leonard Marshall years from now, what do you hope they remember most?
The thing that made it so special was when I came into New York, and this is crazy because I never thought the Giants would draft me. I got called by several teams in the first and second round, and I didn't think the Giants were going to be the team. I actually thought I was going to end up in Kansas City or Detroit. When I came here, my mother's brother was here. My uncle was here. My uncle's lived here in Harlem for, my uncle's been up here almost 60 years, a little over 60 years. My uncle came up here when he was 17 years old. The only time he left was a change of life. He moved to California. He was in banking. He worked for Bank of America. He moved to California. He made a family in California, divorced my aunt, decided to move back to New York. Harlem was his choice. He now lives in Harlem. It's my mother's only surviving sibling. And he's the only member of his family that's left. He's 87 years old, and I love him to death. His name is John Bernard Darrell. And when I came up here to play, my uncle took me around. He told me, he said, Leonard, this city could be yours. He goes, you're going to love this place. He goes, and here's why you're going to love it. He goes, the Jewish folk here are going to treat you like gold. He goes, you're going to love the Diamond District. You're going to love the restaurants. You're going to love the nightlife. And New York City's going to love you because it loves its athletes. And if you play your ass off here and you accomplish something, I want you to think of Willis Reed. I want you to think of Earl Monroe. I want you to think of Clyde Frazier. I want you to think of Muhammad Ali. And I want you to think of Madison Square Garden, the house that Ali built. And I want you to think about the fact that all these black athletes came to this wonderful city and they left a legacy behind that's second to none. Well, guess what? That was my challenge, fellas. My challenge was to channel my energy in the right direction and be part of that legacy. Become one of those iconic sports players in the metropolitan area, and then have my name in the rafters of that stadium. I mean, I love knowing Dick Lynch. I love meeting Erich Barnes. I love meeting Sam Huff. I love when I got a chance to meet Andy Robustelli. I can't tell you how much it meant to me to meet John Mendenhall, to live in a place where Gary Jeter lived, who was here before me, to meet Ray Rhodes, to become friends with Bobby Hammond, who played running back in here and there was a coach. And today, Bobby and I are two of the best of friends. All that shit meant something to me. And all these relationships I built up here over the last 44 years I've been here have all meant something to me. The greatest thing in the world for me now is to see my name in that stadium on the 50-yard line every time I go to a Giant game. And my family and my children, my son, who's an attorney here, and my daughter who lives here and working in the exercise business in Manhattan and finishing school, it makes me proud to see and know that when we go to a game, they look up there and they see their father up there and they go, you know what? My dad he accomplished his dreams. And I hope it motivates them to say, if he can do that, I can do that. And you always want better for your children, fellas. So
Absolutely.
I want them, and I tell them both all the time, I want you to be better than me. Go make millions of dollars. Go change the world. Go do something really crazy and creative and change the world. So it's inspiring and encouragement for me. Now, am I upset that I'm 14 years too late to get in the Giants Ring of Honor? Am I upset that I'm not in the Pro Football Hall of Fame? You're damn right I am, because I think I earned my spot in Canton. And I don't know what I have to do it, just like I don't know what Bill Belichick has to do it. But I'll tell you, I'm not going to stop. I want my flowers, and I hope someday I get them before I die.
I
We
couldn't
hope
agree
so,
more.
too.
I think you've
Yeah.
earned them. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm praying. Yeah,
Yeah.
you definitely deserve it.
So that's it for me, guys. I mean,
Yeah.
my grandchildren mean the world to me. My wife, my best friend, that means the world to me. And I just hate that if I didn't get into the Hall of Fame while I'm alive, I hate to see what happens when I'm dead, because if she has a voice about it, some people are gonna be very upset with her, because
They're going to hear about it.
Yeah, they're gonna hear about it. They're gonna hear about it.
My
Well,
father
thank
goes,
you, man.
well
Yeah,
spoken,
man.
Leonard.
Yeah,
You
man,
definitely
you guys are
deserve it.
great. This is great, fellas. This is great.
Great. Thank you for being exactly who I hoped you'd be, man. This is an honor to speak to you, and thank you for taking some time tonight. And yeah, man, it was great talking to you.
I cannot wait to see the cut up from this, and what you guys cut away and you keep and you post. And I'm gonna tell you, do something on TikTok, baby. Do something on TikTok, Instagram, whatever you want. Whenever you do it, just give me the heads up, George. And tag me in it, and I'll make sure I post it.
Awesome,
Thank
man.
you. I appreciate that.
I did
You're
an
welcome
interview.
back anytime.
Yeah, I did a podcast with a guy here in New Jersey who's an ex-mafia guy. He's now become a mayor. I'll share that.
Alidi, John Alidi?
Yeah, have you seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah. What a great guy, man. What a great guy. I caught a lot of shit about it, because folks
Wild
think
story.
Yeah, wild story, right? Wild story.
Crazy. George, Nick, you guys got anything?
No, man. I just, like I said, thank you again for
It's
your
been
time.
awesome.
You're
Awesome
welcome,
stuff,
baby.
Leonard.
I enjoyed it, man. You guys are great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right,
You
Leonard,
got it. Thank you.
Thank
All
you
right,
for your
fellas.
time.
Be well, fellas. You bet.
You too.
Okay,
too, man.
babe. Okay,
Have a
bye.
good night.
Bye, guys. You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Wow.
That was a lot
That
of fun.
was Leonard Marshall, guys. That was Leonard Marshall, the two-time Super Bowl champion, Ring of Honor inductee that we just interviewed.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought we did a great job. I know, very high-profile guests, and I want to reiterate this to all of you watching. I'm going to use my platform and say this. It'll be a damn travesty if Leonard Marshall is not put in the Pro Football Hall of Fame at some point. This man single-handedly ended Joe Montana's time as a San Francisco 49er, who is regarded as the number 2 quarterback in NFL history, only behind Tom Brady. Just saying.
No, I agree. I mean, he's not the only one. You could almost put Carl Banks in that category too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys that came through that defense in the 80s that I don't know if they just got overshadowed with Carson and Lawrence Taylor, or I don't know what it is, but numbers don't lie. Leonard Marshall should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. A couple comments here. Larry Marino, what's up? Uncle Larry saying, what a great show, guys. Yes, thank you. We hope we made you guys proud. Brian Attard, good buddy of mine, from South Jersey saying awesome guest, and that's coming from a Cowboys fan, by the way. So shout out to Brian Attard. He's a good Cowboys fan, George. Don't worry.
Such thing. No
He
such
hates
thing.
he hates Dak.
They all fucking say that. They all fucking say
Yeah,
No,
they all say that.
listen. This guy Brian is cut from a different cloth. We'll have to have him on the show one day. Trust me.
Oh, it'll be a pleasure.
Goofball saying I'd love to draft Peter Woods in the middle. Give Dexy some help. No, absolutely. Both Clemson boys.
You know, we had a guy who gave Dexter some help, and then we didn't want to pay him.
Leonard.
Hey,
And
what's he
I
doing?
think-
What's he
I
doing?
think he's still playing football in February.
Correct. Yeah. Is he playing in the Super Bowl? Maybe.
Yeah,
Perhaps.
Julian Love. I mean,
yeah,
Should
he's
we go
there
on?
too.
Here we go.
fuck it. Let's end on a good note.
He means it, George. Brian. He means it. Big Rangers fan too. Yankees fan as well, I think. So
Go Habs, Patrick Roy. Remember, always remember.
absolutely.
I think it's
Thank you
Patrick
so much.
Law.
You're not from Canada. Shut up, George.
You guys in the comments section have been awesome. Goofballs, we appreciate you as well. Damn, man. Any final thoughts before we sign off?
Do we know what's going on next week yet, or to be continued?
Yeah, we do.
You want to plug it, George?
We're gonna have Giant Sing, super fan of the New York Giants. People should be aware of who he is. He's gonna come mix it up with us for a little while, talk about the team, current stage, his upbringing. We'll get into it, see where we go.
Absolutely, should be a good time.
Awesome.
Thanks.
I know Brian's waiting for the StreamYard, so let's get out of here. 2 shows down. Awesome stuff. Guys, should do a little cheers to our second show with Leonard Marshall.
Do you have anything left in that beer, George?
Yeah, it's the same beer from 3 hours ago.
Make
Cheers,
sure to
guys.
follow us, subscribe, like this video, share it with a friend, 2 friends. We love you all. Appreciate
And thank you,
all.
Leonard Marshall.
And
Thank you very much, man. A legend.
as I once said on my old show, without further ado, Big Blue.